We do not talk enough about how to rebuild without punishing ourselves and rebuilding after a lot has happened. So, I want to talk about it today because I'm in the same boat right next to you. We're going to do this together. Let's talk about it. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Cozy and Thriving. I'm your host Michaela and this is just a podcast where we learn to build a life that we actually want to be present for. I am excited about today's episode because it is needed for me. If not anyone else, it's needed for me. I need to talk about it. And I truly do believe that there are people out there that are wanting to rebuild and wanting to build a life that they actually want to be present for, but they are trying to do it after a hard season or a lot of things have been going on and they just can't get back into a routine and they can't like rebuild their, I guess, routines are the only word that's coming to my mind, but they just are not, they're stuck. And if that is you, I 100% resonate because the beginning of 2026 has not been how I thought it was going to be. But it has been, and I want to talk about it. Before I do that, if I still sound crazy, it's because this is literally just recorded right after last week's episode, so I am still a little bit stuffy. And yeah, I also want to put out a disclaimer for those of you who are watching. If you see any curls pop out in the back of my head, it is because I am currently taking out my locks. If you're watching, you can see my front pieces, my curls are back. I'm so excited. It's taking a long time, and I'm hoping that by the time I get back from Florida, or I should say before I even go to Florida, I hope that it's done. But if I have to go to Florida and they're still in my head, um, then we're just gonna have to deal with it. But I'm hoping by the time that I get back and like by the time that I need to record again, my all of my curls will be out. I'm just so excited. So anyways, let's start talking about rebuilding after a hard season or just a lot going on or whatever. So I have my notes on my computer because last week I told you I felt so official. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep my notes on my computer since it's right here. So if you see me looking to the side, that's exactly what I am doing. So I want to share with you kind of like what happened 2026 for me. So I was like 2026 is going to be my year. I'm going to be like loving working out. I'm going to be loving my business. My business is going to be booming, all the things, right? I was just like so excited. But then 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks into 2026, I got my wisdom teeth taken out. So I was like prepping for that. I did not know how long I would be out. My dentist told me like literally I got it done on a Thursday, and he was like, most people go back to school or go back to work on Monday after they do it on a Thursday. So you should be fine. But I was like, I don't know. I've never been under anesthesia. I've never had like any type of surgery whatsoever. So I was just like, well, that's not true. I did have a surgery, but it wasn't that extensive. But anyways, so I just didn't know. So I was prepping for that and wanting to be good in that aspect. And then a week after, my church had a like conference, and so I was going to that every single evening. So going to that every night and then like waking up kind of late because we were out a little bit later and then sort of kind of getting back into a routine. I then had family come over and stay here, and we were having such a good time. But while they were here, I was starting to get sick. I got sick, so then I was out for a little bit. And while I was out for a little bit, I started undoing my hair because what else do you do when you just lay on the couch all day? So I was like, let me just start combing my hair out. And now that I'm back up, I'm like, dang, this is going to take a long time because I don't have all of my days like I did before. So I felt like for most of 2026, the majority of 2026, I have not been able to get onto a routine. I feel like I need 2 weeks to like really get into a routine of what I want to be doing and what I need to be doing. And I made like this whole thing where I was going to do 28 cozy and all these things. Like I was prepared to have a routine, and my routine did not happen, and I feel like I am rebuilding something that I need to get back into because when it came to my business and working out and when I woke up, reading my Bible, eating lunch, all the things, when it came to all that stuff, I felt like I got in such a good routine. But then, like, after Christmas, it just kind of was like, okay, am I going to get back on this routine, or is it going to be kind of like loosey goosey? And it has been kind of like loosey goosey since then. And I need to get back into it because I'm somebody I feel like who thrives on a routine, but I don't ever have one. Like I'm like if I had a routine, I feel like I would thrive even more than I already do. After all of this stuff happened, it just kind of felt I wouldn't say like I wouldn't feel like I was disconnected from myself, but I felt like it was like I had a long checklist of things to do that I couldn't get done because I wasn't on a routine. And it felt like if I didn't do it that day or that week, that I had to do it the next week. So then it just like started to pile up and pile up and pile up. And I just was over it. And I didn't want to continue doing that. And then on top of that, there's like this like little tiny built bit of guilt that kind of like creeps in like, oh, I'm not doing it enough, or I'm not doing what I need to be doing, or like should I have just like not canceled or like not taken off of work this week because my family was here? Like should I be doing more? Should I be working a little bit more? And it's not fun. It's just not fun. We're going to talk about getting back into that today. Okay. We're going to talk about getting back into your routine, starting to rebuild. And we're not trying to do this like within a day. It's supposed to be like gentle, something that you can like finally get back into. And it's not hard or overwhelming because we know over here, we do not want to be overwhelmed. We do not want to be burnt out, and we do not want to hustle to do anything even when it means like getting back to routines. No hustling. We're doing this easy breezy, cover girl. Okay. Um moving on, we are going to normalize the disruption. Okay? Nobody has 365 days of doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. We do not have that. I wouldn't even say it's a luxury. I feel like if we did have that, it would be a very boring life, but I just truly believe that nobody has a 365-day non-disruption from their routines and from what they do. So we have to normalize that it's okay. Sometimes things happen. People are going to come visit. You're going to go on vacation. You might get a little cold and you might start taking out your hair. You might have things that just cause a little bit of disruption in your life, and that's okay. We have to be okay with that. So for me specifically, the sickness I feel like was the biggest drawback because it takes out all of the energy and you literally have no motivation. There are days when I'm sick where I am like, I'm just going to sit here, and the only time I'm going to get up is if I need to use the bathroom. Like, there's no way that I can get up and clean or get up and cook myself something. Like, I'm always just wanting to sit down or lay down. And most of the time I don't even want to lay down because I'm like, if I lay down, I know I'm going to be here for way longer than I need to be. So I try to keep myself sitting so that way I'm like, okay, well, at least I'm progressing. Like I'm trying to make sure that I'm not going down into the dumps. Okay. So, um, the getting a cold just already drew some energy out of me. And then being with family and like celebrating my nephew and just all the things that I had done in February so far has just pulled me out of this routine and this rhythm that I felt like I needed my life to go. And then not having energy to even like continue that rhythm was hard. And like I said, it's normal to have like disruptors in life to disrupt your rhythms, but it becomes unrealistic to just like snap back right away because your whole body has changed. You have like switched. It's like, I don't know like how to explain it, but like if you were to have water and you poured like a little bit of like grape juice in it, the water then becomes a little bit purple. Hopefully, this is a good example. Like, it becomes a little bit purple, and the only way to get that purple out is to either dump it completely or to turn the faucet on and let the water basically push out the purple. So you're basically doing things to push that purple out. We're going to use that one instead of dumping it out. Because when you dump it out, then you're starting from zero, you're starting from empty. And to me, that's hustle culture because you're trying to do it quick and fast. But it's so much harder to build from empty than it is to just kind of like start weeding things out. Perfect. I'm so glad that that example came back around. So basically, what we're going to do is do little things day by day to get back into that routine because we're not hustling. Like I said, we're not hustling. And there truly is a difference between laziness and being completely depleted. Like laziness is like, I'm not going to do this. I have the ability, I have the capability, but I just don't want to. And so I'm not going to. And then there is, I want to do it, but I'm actually truly just not energized and I truly just cannot do it. So I don't want you to feel like it's the end of the world if you're depleted because it will come back around. If you're just being lazy, we need to get up, okay? Get up. So we're going to start with 4 pillars or 4 buckets, if you will, to rebuilding or getting back into a routine. So the first one is to start smaller than you think. You're not trying to revamp your entire life in one day. You are trying to get there in small little pieces and small little doses. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick one anchor habit, okay? So this would be like waking up at the same time, going on a 10-minute walk, doing a 5-minute devotional, making your bed, etc., etc., etc. It's small consistency that rebuilds that like identity or rebuilds that routine that you're wanting to have. I think that for me, I need to wake up at the same time. I think that is part of my uh definitely a big part of my not having the routine because when I'm waking up at 7, I know 7 I'm reading my Bible, I'm praying, and I have multiple like or I have at least an hour to where I'm not like feeling like I have to do anything. When 8 o'clock hits, I'm like, okay, it's starting to get a little bit later. I should be at the gym. I should be working out. I should be taking my dog on a walk. I should be eating breakfast, all the things. Like, there are things that I have kind of like marked. It's like tattooed on my mind that this is the time that I do it. And not that those things can't change and not that I can't switch them around or do something different with them. It's just that I don't. And that's always in my mind. Like 7 is the time that I need to get up. And if I'm trying to be a 6:30 a.m. girly or a 6 a.m. girly, I need to be consistent in being a 7 a.m. girly. And if I can't be consistent in that, then like what's the point? So that is my like number one thing is just making sure to get up at 7. And even when I'm going on vacation, so by the time that you are hearing this podcast or watching this podcast, I am in Florida. But um if even when I'm like going to Florida, I have to still do that. And especially because I'm going to see like my grandparents and my mom, it's not like we're all staying up past midnight and, like, doing the most. So, like, going to bed at a reasonable hour and waking up at 7 a.m. is what I need to do even when I go on vacation. So that's, like, something that I need to keep in the back of my mind. So, moving on to bucket number 2 or pillar number 2, regulate before you optimize. So, what this means is like prioritize your sleep, eating regularly, going outside, and reducing your stimulation. I believe that you cannot discipline your way out of a nervous system exhaustion. You have to start to regulate it. So, as somebody who has not been eating normally, this week I was like, I'm going to be eating all whole foods. I'm going to go back to the Mediterranean diet for the week and just make sure that I'm like getting all 3 meals in and making sure that I'm eating healthily and making sure that I'm not skipping meals or doing all the other things. I'm doing what I need to do to make sure that I can get out of being exhausted, and fueling your body correctly is just the number one way. I feel like there are so many things that we try to do and supplements we try to take and um things that we try to do, like, with our bodies and everything that we're like, "Okay, this is gonna help me with exhaustion. I'm gonna shake my head all the time, and I'm gonna just, like, stand up and spin around in circles and do all these things," when in reality, if you fuel your body correctly, you'll see how much change happens, and I've noticed it. I have truly noticed it since doing it and start since I've been um, eating whole foods. It's just crazy to me how much food can actually make or break you. Instead of being like super disciplined and being like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym every single day and I'm going to go on a walk for 4 hours every single day. I'm being dramatic. But instead of saying all of those things, maybe let's just start with, okay, I need to prioritize 8 hours of sleep. If I want to get up at 7, I have to be asleep by 11 p.m., which means I cannot be on my phone watching TikTok until 11 p.m. I have to start to wind down. And hear me, the wind down also is a big part of like getting a good sleep, I believe, because there have been days where I will get in bed and I will read for a little bit and I will stop reading, like intentionally stop reading, not falling asleep to a book, but like I'll be like, okay, end of chapter, close my book, I'm going to sleep. And just like kind of like preparing yourself for that it makes a big difference. It really does. So prioritizing your sleep, prioritizing getting 8 hours, eating regularly, going outside, and reducing stimulation, which to me just means don't have a bunch of unnecessary things on. If you're cooking, don't like have the TV on and like a bunch of stuff happening, the vacuum and all the things. When I say the vacuum, I have like one of those robot things and it actually gets on my nerves so much. It's just so obnoxious. And the one that I have isn't very smart, so it'll run into things, it will eat up my cords if I don't pick them up. So I literally have to clean the floor before it cleans my floor. So that's just yeah, it's a lot. But anyways, so just reducing the stimulation in that way and you'll like regulate yourself. Another one pillar for me, is just like putting my spiritual life first. I realize that when I get with family or a lot of things are happening, events are happening, or I'm sick or whatever, I tend to just kind of like put it on the back burner. Like, yes, I pray every day. I thank the Lord for my apartment. I thank Him for my life. I thank Him for waking me up. But it's just kind of like surface level instead of being like, um, just in it, like deep with him, with the Lord. So I really want to anchor that, especially getting out of a funk and making sure that I'm getting back into my routines and rebuilding. I want to make sure that I'm prioritizing that. For me, that looks like gratitude journaling, like just basically writing my prayers out and everything that I'm thankful for, reading my Bible, and then I just kind of like sit and listen before I do anything else. And obviously like praying and stuff. So, just I want to have a time where I'm like anchored in that and just remembering like this is where everything flows from, like my podcast, my business, everything flows from that place of me being in the presence of God. So I just want to make sure that that is a priority. And then pillar number 4 is to redefine consistency for this season. So consistency looks different in every single season. And right now for me, like I'm posting on my business account, I'm posting 5 days a week. And I am posting here on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, twice a week. Well, at this point, it might just be once, but it will be twice a week soon. So I want to make sure that I'm looking at what the consistency looks like for me and making sure that I'm not overdoing it because I want to stay consistent. And so right now, like on my um personal accounts, I'm just kind of posting whatever I feel like it, whenever I feel like it. It's more of a creative outlet for me, where my business page is actually what I'm trying to be strategic about and really like be consistent in, because that is where I am building my income and I'm building my business and wanting to add new things to it. So making sure that I know what consistency looks like in every single aspect. And you can do this for the month, you can do it for the quarter, you could do it for um a week, like just figuring out what your consistency level is going to be and keep it. Okay? You're building gentle structure. You're building a soft structure that you can follow. You're not trying to make a rigid routine right now. You're just trying to get back into it. You're rebuilding from that hard season, that hard place, or just a place of busyness. And going from a place of busyness to then being like, I have to be at the gym at 8 o'clock and be back by 9:01 so I can make breakfast and sit down at my computer at 9:55 so I can log in exactly 10 p.m. Like, I mean, 10 a.m. All of those things are good, but it's just, it will stress you out trying to stick to it. And that's it. That's all that I have for that one. So lastly, I think I want to share with you kind of like what I'm rebuilding right now and what I'm doing right now, so that way um I don't know, I feel like sharing personally just kind of like helps you guys relate a little bit better. So right now, one habit that I'm focusing on is really trying to keep my body moving. I am somebody who is a one track mind, and I want to finish what I want to finish when I finish it. And if that means sacrificing a workout or a walk or whatever, I will do it. And I don't want to do that, because if I'm not taking care of my body and something happens, then I can't do this. So I want to make sure that I'm prioritizing that habit. And again, I'm using Trainwell, so I can talk to my trainer about this, and I can talk to her and say, like, hey, I'm struggling a little bit with my consistency. I'm struggling a little bit with the workouts. And, she can help me with that. And she can maybe do something that's a little bit uh, softer for the week. She could do something that maybe is still a little bit challenging, but it's something that is like obtainable. So making sure that I am like getting out there and I'm moving my body. And so in the app, this is what my workout looks like right now. Hopefully, I think you can see it. And like all of the things that I have to do. So she added free movement up here. So this is something like if I were to go to a class or if I were to go on a bike ride or whatever, I can add that free movement in. I also have an 8,000 step goal for every single day. And I have not been tracking that, but I should be, because I do wear this ring. Hydrate. And then I have my workout. So my workout is at the very bottom, but then there is backup plans. So there is a 30-minute walk, and then there's a 14-minute body stretch. So I literally have no excuse, because if I'm not able to do the like strength training, I can go on a walk or I can do a 14-minute stretch. Like if I'm not able to do those things, like what am I doing? you know? So that's a habit that I'm trying to get into and stay in. Something that I am letting go of right now, or for now, is trying to be present on all my platforms and be a content creator that does everything. I realize that I like to create content and I like to be a content creator and like record my life and do all the things. But I realize that's something that I definitely can't be consistent in, because there are days that I just don't feel like it. And if I don't want to do it, then I won't do it. And so there are forms of content that I enjoy creating that I can be consistent in. So that's something that I want to just like let go of, trying to be a creator on all platforms and really like hone in like what kind of creator I am. And the most consistent type of creator that I am is a podcaster. And the only times that I don't put a podcast out is if life really happens and life really happened. So, that's something that I'm letting go of is just like, I don't have to be a creator on everything. And I'm really just trying to build my business right now. And that's okay. Of course, I'm always extending grace to myself, but I'm also not allowing myself to be babied. If I, like I said, I'm trying to become somebody who loves working out. And if I am just like not making time for a 14-minute floor stretch, like, girl, it's not gonna happen, and so I need to have a little bit of tough love. Yes, there's grace. I was, feeling down. I didn't have the energy, and even now still kind of being stuffy, like, I don't know if a strength workout is something that I have in me, but I know I can go on a walk. I know I have a 14-minute floor stretch, so girl, do one of them. Like, pick something and just do it. So, having the tough love, extending grace, becoming somebody who loves working out, and being okay not being a creator on everything is what I am currently working on and currently rebuilding and getting back into routines and a life that I actually want to be present for. So I'm so excited for you. I want to remind you that you are not behind. This is normal, okay? Rebuilding and resetting is normal after having things happening, hard things or just a lot of things, being busy. It's normal. So you're not behind. Um for me, I'm healing, so it's okay. I need time to heal. I need time to rest. I need that time. So it's okay. And you're allowed to rebuild slowly. I don't like that we have this pressure to be 100% the next day. As soon as we feel better, as soon as we're up off out of the bed, we have to be 100%. And I personally just don't agree with that. So it's okay. Build slow, get back into your routines. Everything's gonna be okay. It's not the end of the world. Um, just USA, breathe in, breathe out, and we'll get the list done together. We'll get back in our routines. We'll do all the things. So I thank you guys so much for being here and listening to this podcast episode. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Um, did I say rate? Rate the podcast and follow me on all of my social platforms at Michaela E. Barnes. And then my business page at 1008 Creations, which is just 1008 Creations on all the platforms you can find us on. So, with all of that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, day, night, evening, whenever you're listening to this. And until next week, bye everybody.